Can computers make art and actually be creative? I think they can. However, I believe it's the software developers who are making this artificial intelligence, the ones that are limiting the computer's potential. I'll show you how. So far, I have seen three ways in which artists used artificial intelligence to make art. The first one consists on teaching a computer how a certain art style looks like or sounds like, and then asking the computer to make a new art piece based on what it learned. This emulates the way an artist takes inspiration from another art style. However, artists not only take inspiration from other art styles, artists can take inspirations from anything that exists. The place you live, how you feel, a certain object. What I have seen the artists are doing to deal with this concept is after the computer learns a certain art style, they also teach the computer how a certain object looks like. So if the computer learned the way Van Gogh makes a painting, then they would teach the computer how a face looks like. Then the computer can make a painting of a face in the style of Van Gogh. This is pretty interesting already. However, we are still within a single art style. What we really want to see is a computer create its own art style. The third way in which I've seen artists use artificial intelligence is they just teach a computer how something looks like, and it is up to the artist to create a new art style based on what the computer has learned. For example, I saw this guy who made the computer learn how the New York City looks like, and with that information he created this super dynamic collage. This really dynamic collage can be considered as a new art style. However, it was the artist who made the art style, not the computer. How do you teach a computer to make a new art style? Now, I don't have the resources to make my own artificial intelligence, but I do have some ideas to deal with this. Think about this. Let's say that you are a musician and I teach you how music from the Baroque era sounds like. After you learn how the Baroque music sounds like, I ask you to make a new song. Now, if you liked the Baroque music that I show you, you can decide to make a new Baroque song. However, you, as a human, you can choose. Now that you know how Baroque music sound like, you can make a song by actively trying to not sound like Baroque music because you know how it sounds like. You see, after the Baroque era of music came the classical era of music, which is mostly Mozart. Now, Mozart sounds like Mozart because he made music by actively trying to not sound like the Baroque music he studied. This is how a new art style is created, one way at least. Now, how do you replicate this on a computer? The idea that I have consists on teaching the computer how Baroque music sounds like, and then asking the computer to make a new song that does not sound like the Baroque music it just learned about. The computer has made up a definition for itself on how Baroque music sounds like. You have to give the computer a more broad definition of what music is. You could define music to be an artistic arrangement of sounds. Because this definition is so broad, the computer will be able to choose when and when to not use the things that have learned from Baroque music. Now, the music that this artificial intelligence is going to put out is probably going to be very weird. But that's okay. We are trying to let the computer express itself. We're trying to let the computer be creative. Now, to make it more robust, we have to let the computer make, let's say, 100,000 of these weird new songs that does not sound like Baroque music. After we have 100,000 of these weird songs, we're going to have a new database. Now, after we have this new database, we're going to make a new artificial intelligence learn what this new art style is supposed to sound like. That will be the second generation of the database that we had just created. The music that this new AI is going to put out, it might be not be good, but it would be more defined. However, we can do better. So far, this computer has been making music with no intention. Art has to convey an idea. To deal with this, you could show this new AI how maybe a sad person looks like. You feed the AI thousands of pictures of sad people. Then you ask the computer to make a song inspired by the sad people in the new art style that we just made. From this, we are going to get a song in a new art style with an actual artistic intention. Whether it ends up being a good song or a bad song, it's besides the point. Now, this concept of teaching a computer something and then telling the computer to make something that is different from what it just learned, to me is like a very simple concept. I would think that people have done this already. However, I just haven't seen it. The closest thing I have seen people do that is similar to what I have just said is Google's DeepMind. They make this new art style called Inceptionism. However, to my understanding, this new art style was created by mistake. The method that I just came up with is a way to make a new art style willingly. Now, the method that I just give you depends on you agreeing with my definitions of art, my definitions of creativity, which I am still working on. I will make videos on my definitions of art and creativity so that you can see if we are in the same page. But that is it. That is how I would make my own artificial intelligence be creative. If you like these videos where we talk about art, subscribe. If you can come up with more ways in which an AI can be creative, leave a comment. And if you want to support this channel and me as an artist, visit my website diegoelz.com. My name is Diego Elizondo and I thank you for listening.